Yeah, you do. You really do. Because if it's not exciting, it's hard to sit down and go and do it. Because I mean, just like you're in a situation that's similar to anyone else making comics. Like you're
Yeah.
busy with your day life, which is like college, and I don't know if you have a day job, but you might have a day job on top of that, where and then you go home and
Yeah.
you have to work on your own personal projects. Like I'm sure Frankie isn't your only homework assignment that you get to
Uh,
do. So you have to
I
find
got
the
5 page
energy
essay at
and
the end of the semester, man, and like but that is I do want to bring this up though to people that are kind of like stuck in not stuck. I don't mean this in any negative way at all. Like I'm trying to be like very encouraging here because it's true.
oh yeah,
Like even if you have a day job or even if you have a day life and like and then drawing is second, that doesn't mean you're not an artist at heart, and that does not mean that that's not the legacy you're going to leave behind. You're just paying your dues till you get to a certain point where you can hopefully figure out how to make it sustainable. You know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And like, there was something else I was kind of going with that. Yeah, like, and with every step you take, you're just going to get closer to where you want to be. Like, there's some things going on behind the scenes at Cosmic Lion that I can't wait for Eli to announce, but it's looking really good for the Cosmic Lion scene right now. So I'm really
It's
excited
about
for
sticking it
everyone
out, you
involved.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Making comics is difficult, publishing comics is really difficult, like navigating the waters into success and figuring out what success means to you besides like in the income aspect of it and to like
yeah,
find that success measure to keep you going. And I mean,
yeah,
Eli's been at it for a while and he's been nonstop and he's gone through a lot and he's navigated through a lot of the waters, but the passion is there and the
yeah.
determination
The
is there.
drive.
And if
Yeah,
and the drive. And if you just keep showing up and doing your work, you're gonna hit something. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna
yeah,
find a wall, you're gonna find something you could overcome. And some of the
yeah,
hard things that were difficult a year or 2 years ago may get more possible and easier as you keep growing and you keep doing it. But it's just like
yeah,
sticking it through. And that's where it does get difficult for a lot of people because your personal life may really interfere, but it's
yeah.
how you bounce back and how you try to find your love and like solace
Mhm.
for art and comics
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, because like when I'm done with like homework and stuff, like I'm just I'm not those kind of creatives that like if they have a day job, like I'm drained. For me, like
Mhm.
getting back to the drawing board is like very pleasurable, and it's just like okay, I had like not even like a bad day, but like I had a busy day. I'm gonna decompress. I'm gonna sling some ink. I'm going to design some pages. I'm gonna color a little bit in it, and I'm gonna have fun. And I'm gonna go back into that childhood like kind of like mode of just creating, that a lot
Mhm.
of people unfortunately suppress, but it shouldn't be suppressed, I think.
Or yeah, suppressed in a few ways, especially, discouragement of what's coming out of like their hand, or especially when you start, how long does it, when you pick up your pen and it may have changed over the years because you've been doing this for a bit, but like your first drawing that you start off with, your first 5 minutes is probably not the thing you're going to look to like publish and show and share with everybody. Like you have to like, it's just like working out. It's just like almost
Yeah,
anything you do. You kind of need to warm up. You kind of need to get your brain flowing. You kind of need to get into the groove and everything. And I think a lot of people stop in their first 5 minutes of picking up a pen and they're
yeah,
like, I don't like where this is going. I don't like how this looks. And they're too ashamed to just like throw it away and try again. Like you need to
yeah,
fall and then try it again and then just fall again and then just keep on going at it. And then you're going to realize like, oh, I've done this 8 times, 20 times. It's looking amazing now, but it's
yeah.
taken X amount of efforts and X amount of time and hours for it to look like this.
And like I don't know, like that kind of thing is why I identify a little bit in some ways with like say a Jack Kirby, though he's not necessarily a direct influence on my style. Like
Hmm.
he was 16 or 18 when he started. He had to draw comic strips and was even I think he helped with like ECC Gar's like Popeye strips and stuff like that till he finally started to make Captain America, and then he finally started to work on the 60s Marvel comics, and then he created like New Gods. Like he just kept drawing, and he couldn't
Hmm.
afford to not bang it out. Like even if a little
Yeah.
something here was kind of like wonky, like if an arm was kind of drawn a little odd, like it didn't matter because he had to bang it out for his own survival. And like for me, a part of like my survival is like just trying to keep my vision of like what I'm creating alive. So I
Hmm.
like I forced myself, like that's why like my stuff is very bold and graphic. I force myself to like I do a quick like kind of gesture in blue, but then I put that final like pencil line down on tracing paper, and that's my penciling process, and then I hit it with like my nice illustration board on top, a light pad, and then I ink. So like I force myself to put down these long, bold lines just
Oh
to get
man.
it done, but then to also kind of create like these strong compositions. Even if they're a little
Oh, that
wonky, it
makes
doesn't
sense.
matter because like I believe, and that's funny enough that this is the tagline of my comic is that like comics is an art form that's like greater than the sum of its parts. You know, like it's
That makes sense.
every individual panel comes together into a story, and there's so many people that I think criticize like these little wonky parts, and it's just like that's not the point at all. You're missing the point. You're missing the whole of the story, and that goes for like even when you're creating something, and if something's a little wonky, okay, tighten it up next issue. It's fine. No one's, you know, no one. This isn't life or death, guys. This is comics. You
Yeah,
know.
yes, yeah. There's that, and nobody's gonna go and bash your like, especially like a book like yours. No one's gonna turn to page 8 or 10 and be like, look at this one bad panel. Forget this book and just toss it out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like that's But they look at it and they're looking at the whole of the story, the
Unless I
whole of
used
the
AI.
composition. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a different thing. If you're using AI, then you just get out of here. Like you're probably not watching this show anyways.
I'm not. I'm not.
Um,
I
but
used
it's
it.
like
Okay,
you're right.
I used it once, not for publishing, but I used it to.
Mhm.
I'm actually doing an essay on the creative classes struggle amidst like the AI strikes in like Hollywood, and
Oh,
so I
nice. Yeah.
did download like a Chat GPT kind of thing, and I typed in some prompts, and I just got angry, and I was just like, this is terrible, this is horrendous, and I turned it off, downloaded it completely because I was curious like what's the fuss about, and it was not worth those 8 minutes of my time. But at least I kind of figured out like how does it work, and it kind of gives me a better
Mhm.
idea of how I'm going to write my essay. But you know,
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought of AI being something like, you have a guitar, for example, and then you plug your guitar into a phaser pedal, and now your guitar has this phaser effect on it.
mm,
And to me, if you use AI as a tool and not the instrument, that's different from using it to, that's a whole difference right there. Like I've had a creator reach out to me and say, like, hey, we submitted to an anthology. I know you said no AI, but we used an AI tool to help with some of the coloring. And when I looked at the page and the way the coloring came out, it was
mm,
this wild, insane thing. And it was just like, oh, okay, I get what you guys mean. And that's when I kind of clicked in my head. I was like, they didn't use it to color it. They used it to help like transform the image a little bit and alter the image, just like you would like with Procreate and a Procreate
yeah,
pen that does all your zipatone or all your Kirby dots and whatnot like that.
yeah,
They're using it as a tool, not as the instrument itself, or saying like I have this finished thing but it's all AI. Like when you're using it to create out of a whole project, that's an
yeah.
issue because you're not putting any input. And if you're using it to like use it more than just like a small part or just like more than a tool and use it as the instrument that you're using to compose, that's the issue. I mean, I've used
And
it to like
here's
give me a
some proof
format
that
for
I'm not
resumes.
using AI real quick.
Oh, dude, yeah, your physical
Yeah,
artwork is beautiful, man. And you
yeah, I
and
love
that's a
ink
cool
on
thing,
paper.
doing everything traditional.